This video was sponsored by Enhance, Elbilmek, ABRP Planner, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? Today I'm going to show you guys how fast the Maxus eTerron 9 is charging. This is 102 kilowatt hour battery. It's a big upgrade versus the before, the ET90. So okay, let me just roll the tape. I included the two cars, also F-150, those are the pickup trucks, and also an MG IM6, which is 100 kilowatt hour battery, to show you how fast it can charge. Now the eTerron 9, by the way, it shows 132 kilowatt here on the Ioniq screen, but actually inside the car it shows probably what goes into the battery, which is 125 kilowatt. So later when you see the curve, you'll see that that's what I used, what goes into the battery, that's what matters. At least the F-150 and IM6, they're using car scan, and the battery power, or the power there in the F-160, is actually what goes into the battery. So yeah, eTerron 9 is charging way faster than the ET90 before, but compared to the F-150, it's actually not that fast. The IM6 it's just insanely fast, you know, like. What if the Chinese could put an IM6 battery into the eTerron 9? It would be wonderful. 1,000 kilometer challenge would be about 1 hour faster, actually. Yeah, no, more. I think more like 1.5 hours faster. But okay, at least it has a nice and flat charging. Yeah, no, the eTerron 9 now suddenly goes to 126 kilowatt. I believe that in the beginning it was running some battery heater that sucked 6-7 kilowatt extra, and then eventually the battery was hot enough, and then poof, this will happen. But also in 1,000 kilometer challenge, I've seen that the charging sessions are super consistent. Every time you get this 125 or something kilowatt flat all the way, actually until until 59%. You're gonna see it now. But no, this was the problem with the ET90 before. It's a smaller battery, but it was charging so slow, and the ET90 is actually thirstier than the eTerron 9, despite that the eTerron 9 is all-wheel drive and has more power, and it's a bigger car, a bigger truck. But just in comparison, IM6 already hit 80% after 20 minutes. Isn't that a bit strange? No, it's still the charge scale is a bit weird. Yeah, the 84% on the IM6 is actually more like 86 or 7%, whatever. But interesting to see that F-150 went fast in the beginning, but it started throttling, and now the eTerron 9 is coming back at it because it goes flat now all the way. Oh yeah, until 50s. I'm gonna see throttling coming soon, but it's just very nice that it has that flat curve. I wish it was charging even faster, of course, but still, you know. Yeah, IM6 is about to hit 90% right there. Okay, that's good. This is just to show the potential. If it had the IM6 battery, you know? And also the IM6 is not that expensive, so we're not talking about the very, very ultra expensive EQS battery and like that. It's just, you know, in a affordable IM5, IM6 car, right? But yeah, okay, and you see it started throttling eTerron 9 at around 60%, but it just has a gentle throttle. So when you want to travel far and fast, like I did in 1,000 kilometer challenge, it actually pays off to go to 60 to 65% is the optimal percent. But if you stretch it to 70%, you're only losing like 30 seconds to 1 minute on that session versus if you go faster, right? I mean lower. So. But now past 70%, it starts going kind of slow-ish, but I mean, it's still okay, you know, 85 kilowatt. If you really have to go far into the bush, then even that speed is okay. And it's still charging faster than the ET90. So the ET90 is just, I don't know, to just put it quite, I mean, to be honest, the ET90 is just so shitty. You see, like after charging for 38 minutes, we are at 60% on the ET90. So, yeah, I was not impressed at all with the ET90, but the eTerron 9 appears to be just a lot better car. And it's not just what you see in the charging here. The comfort in the eTerron 9 is better. Sound levels are incredible. It has air suspension. You know, it can tow 3.5 tons, just like the F-150. But the F-150 actually costs a lot more. So we're talking about, at least with VAT, F-150 is over 1 million NOK, and then eTerron 9 is only 750K. But then many companies will buy this, and then you don't have to pay VAT. So then the price is lower than what I mentioned mention, but IM6 is about to hit 100%. Actually, it doesn't show 100%. I think it was just finished charging at 97 or 98 on November. But yeah, past 80% though, the eTerron 9 charges kind of slow. So yeah, if I guess you need to pull it far, then maybe around 80%, and then you go to the next charger. But it was not able to catch up with the F-150, unfortunately. So, but actually, in 1,000 kilometer challenge, which might matter right, on a long trip, I've actually measured that, well, the eTerron 9 went faster than the F-150, but it was a colder run in the F-150. But it means that eTerron 9 possibly consumes less than F-150, and then on a long trip, then actually those two cars, they can match. So that is very impressive. Yeah. Right now, I'm not sure if we want to sit and watch the paint dry. Probably wait until the eTerron 9 hit 90%, and then I'm not going to bother waiting for the ET90 to hit 90%. That's going to take like over an hour, right? Oh, okay, we're done. And yeah, I didn't bother including the IM6, IM5 curve, because then it will just crush all the other lower curves here. But you see that F-160 was faster initially, and yeah, that helps, of course, when you go travel far, but you can't simply just charge it 30%. You need to go more, at least 60%, right? So then the F-150, I mean the eTerron 9 actually did it well, and it has, okay, a little bit flatness here, and then they kind of follow each other. But then versus the Maxus, the ET90 before, that was just so bad. So yeah, I mean, this video shows that if you consider the ET90 before and you didn't buy it, you know, good call, don't buy it, it's waste of money. But the eTerron 9 has so many good improvements, and the charging is way better than before. I wish it was even faster than this. And actually, what you're seeing, by the way, is that I did get 125 kilowatt. And according to spec is 115. So this is strange, because Elbilforeningen, or the EV Association in Norway, they tested this car just about 1 or 2 weeks before I tested it, and they managed to get only 106 to 108 kilowatt for some reason. Maybe they're colgated, I'm not sure, but 125 seems to actually be what you can get now. Not 115 than the spec, so they must have bumped up the speed. So hopefully they could bump it up even more, because it's. Oh yeah, I also measure 102, or at least 101, roughly kilowatt hour net capacity, and then it's claimed to be 102 net capacity. So the gross capacity might be 105. So it's a sizable battery. Hopefully it can charge a little bit faster. But even today, even 125, if you get it, it's still okay. So that's gonna be for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.